Honda's Fit, the little guy. It's been a big hit for that company, but I had some misgivings about it when I first drove Generation 1. The tech was a little too low, the interior a little too cheapy-tacky, the driving position was really uncomfortable for me, and the engine was just this side of gutless. Let's see if they've handled my needs, and we'll check the tech while we're in there in the 09 Fit Sport. I'm really pleased with what happened in here. Ugly got foreclosed on, and kinda Honda spacey attractive moved in. That's a good thing in a cheap car, because folks who buy cheap cars don't want to be reminded they bought a cheap car every time they drive their cheap car. The head unit, you better like it. That's not going to be a fun one to replace with something on the aftermarket. Luckily, I kind of like this radio. You've got 6 speakers around the cabin, 160 watts are powering them, and it sounds particularly good. It's got good low end, nice and tight, nice and controlled. It's just, it's just good. You've got an aux jack right here living under a particularly Honda-esque tidy little dust cover. Of course, AM, FM. There is no satellite radio going on here and no HD radio. But to make up for that, we've got an optical disc drive here for store-bought CDs and, notice, MP3 and WMA CDs you burn at home. And we've also got, over here in the glove box, something all new for the Fit. It's this little USB pigtail. Now, I've got a USB drive there with a bunch of music on it. To get to that, well, I just hit aux, and there I am. There's my USB logo. And if you want to look at some text, you've got a title button right here that allows you to go through the various types of tagging information on there. But it gets even better. Look at this. I'll pull out my USB drive, and look who gets to get in on the act. An iPod. And again, you've got the same sort of tag information you can reveal. It's really simple. Now, driving this Fit feels a little different than the first generation that we had. First of all, that was a Fit Sport with an automatic and paddle shifters. Now, there's a 5-speed manual, which is the base gearbox. The clutch on this car is really light. I almost feel like the weight of my shoe can depress it. But I can probably get used to that. The gearbox is nice and crisp. Now, for 09, the Honda Fit power and torque are up. 117 horsepower, up a handful or so. 106 foot-pounds of torque, also a little bump, not much. Mileage is now rated at 27 city, 33 highway. Good numbers. We're not talking, crazy good. But that should give you an average of around 30, we hope, in the real world. The first Fit struck me as a little bit coarse, which is weird for a Honda engine. This one is very silky. Cruise control is standard. It's basic cruise, not adaptive, of course. Nothing over here on this side of the wheel, you'll notice, where you might expect Bluetooth buttons. Not standard, not optional. That's a big screw up. I know it's their base car, but Bluetooth is now a base technology, folks. Every car should at least offer it, especially when you're a Honda and you're kind of tech forward. Now, broadly speaking, there are 2 schools of thought when it comes to lean, green little cars. One says, go for the hybrid, all that high tech and the incrementally improved gas mileage. Other school of thought says, no, go with the leanest proven inline 4 conventional motor. This represents the latter. If you're thinking that way, an 09 Fit Sport is about 16.7 base with the manual transmission. Add 850 for the automatic, which I might do. Add 1850 for the navigation built in, which I probably wouldn't do. Keep it lean, that's the idea.